Eat your vegetables!
But I was on mute. I was just saying, I love the eat your vegetables. It is just so, like, I don't know how you did that graphic, but I'm really happy. Welcome to Meatless Monday, and we're really here on a Monday this time. Last time it was Friday. And we're going to have a special this Thursday with Meatless Minister of Wellness. So I'm so excited. He's like one of my favorite speakers, really intense. So we'll be here for a special on Thursday. I wanted to mention so I don't get caught up and forget. But let's go into what we have going on today. We have, well, she was here. Welcome, Buddha 1000, our #1 supporter. Also, she is here with us. For some reason, I think we lost our producer here and our guest this evening, so I hope she can bring herself on. I want to thank Buddha for being here. She has been to every Meatless Monday since she found out about this stream, and I am super excited to have her. Hopefully, I love your questions and your comments in the chat. And so I know that when I went into being plant-based or vegan and stopped eating the animal products, I definitely felt a difference, like a compassion, like spiritually, I just felt like a lot different. And it's weird to explain. And some people say it's because the like all of the violence and things that the animal experienced is in you, or it could just be that you finally like make the connection of animals are animals no matter if they're this animal or that animal, you know? So it's a lot that you go through. I feel like you feel calmer. Plus, the foods have like serotonin and things in them that, or not serotonin, but they increase the chemicals. And it's just like, it makes you feel more calm and more energy. There's a difference though. Sometimes you can be eating all the right stuff, but we still, because of our lives and everything going on, especially since the pandemic, I know for me, and just, life in general, you also need some more help than the food. Because for me, even though I'm eating right, I know that I need, and different people have said this, and I just heard Angel talk about it. Every person basically that we've interviewed has some type of mindfulness and meditation. I know June and Marakita that come on, they both practice this as well. And Dawn has been telling me to do this forever. And this is why I wanted to have this stream, because she used to have a show on before she started her new profession of trading. She had a show that came on midday that was called it was Midday Motivation, and then before that, Midday Meltdown. So she's kind of our expert, and I've watched the changes in her on how to kind of get your mind right. And I would like to bring her on, Dawn James, our guest, and usually our co-host. You've probably seen her before.
Oh, wow, that's funny. You are so funny. She's so formal.
I wanted to be formal.
Oh,
Even
you're a
though I
sweetheart.
still want to talk about what we're having for dinner tonight, because Buddha, we didn't get that all set up to get.
Shout out to Buddha 1000, the best moderator on YouTube, baby. Woo!
Yes.
Thank you, Buddha, for always reminding us to subscribe, like, share the video. Thank you, baby girl. Appreciate you
We're
so
almost
much.
to another level of
She's almost in the
subscribers.
triple digits, Buddha. She's almost in the trips, babe. Almost at 100, and then it's 4 from there. You got to get the comma. You know what I mean? I'm
That's
still
right.
trying to stay above the comma.
Subscribe
So it takes a
to
minute, but
the
keep
channel
going.
if you're here. It really helps us get this message out. Click
That's
the
it.
little notifications, and also share this video if you can on your social media. So
you know something? And my bad, I realized that I'm so focused on making sure everything's set up on the back end that a lot of times when I come in, I actually forget to hit the like button. So with Buddha doing that, that reminded me, oh, wait a minute, let me go out, let me hit the like button real quick on YouTube. So
sometimes I forget to like my own stream.
yeah, you know, we're the main one. If we ain't liking it, who's gonna like it? So
Right?
I'm like, well, let me go out and like that real quick. Thank you for the reminder, Buddha.
So I just want to get started with what, first of all, made you actually start looking into the mindfulness and
Because I was a nutcase.
yoga.
No, because you know, as well as I do, for quite a few years, well, I'm a cancer survivor. So I suffered with PTSD, and I didn't really realize that until I started having almost on a semi-regular basis panic attacks. And anything and everything that I heard that was health related, whether it be a medicine commercial on television, you name it, it would set my mind off into this direction that I did not like. And after a while, it just became involuntary and uncontrollable, or so I thought. And so I started looking into different types of mind therapy, you know, on YouTube, of course. Just started looking through, and you know, for years I thought I was fine. Woo, woo, dodged that bullet, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize that in the back of my mind, I had this, we all have an innate fear of death, but when you are facing a terminal disease, or you have had something where your regular living is threatened, and it's something that could potentially be fatal, and you're faced with, you know, knocking at death's door, but it changes your life, and that innate fear of death is heightened. So because you were there, you were almost out of here, you know what I mean? So and you don't want to suppress thoughts of that, but I've learned over the years, you got to kind of voice that and get it out of your temple, so that it will get out into the universe, and the universe can take it and just, you know what I mean? Because just deal with it. But meditation, getting to the point, was the thing that helped me get through that period. And when I was doing the midday streams, I was always putting the link in the stream for a YouTube channel called Doxy Meditation. And I'll put it in this stream. I forgot to put it in here. Duh. But I'll put it in this stream when this is over with. I'll go back and put it in. But it's DAUCHSY.
I used to say the cheesy, but
The cheesy
like,
mechanism, you would call it by
I was
purpose.
like, what's that? The cheesy mechanism? I think I'm gonna start doing that. And honestly, I've never been able to like settle myself down and like control, like actually take the time to learn about it and do it. And one of the
Because
things,
to you, it's kind of like a mumbo jumbo a little bit. I think it makes you feel silly to sit there and channel and focus on your breathing. And for a while, I was turned off by, I wasn't doing that. I wanted to learn yoga, so I knew that yoga was a form of relaxation, but meditation and yoga together, yoga led me to meditating. You know what I mean?
right? Because you started yoga first, right?
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
you know, real quick before you go into the yoga and meditation, I wanted to say that something clicked for me today when we were talking about it, and I was like, I know
What,
you've
a
been
light
telling
switch?
me, I
Sorry.
know you've been telling me for years that I should do this, especially as I've gotten into my mid 40s, early to mid 40s. Progressively, the hormones have started making me have like really, I feel like, worrying and things that I've
You're
never
going through
had
a lot of what I went through in my
before.
40s. Yeah.
And what ended up happening is today it finally clicked when I was saying, "Yeah, I'm going to start meditating." I sounded exactly like the people that I talk to daily or monthly and every year since I've been vegan, telling them how much food has to do with how they feel and how they could get rid of their chronic pain and
And how they
illness,
think.
arthritis, cancer, diabetes. Like I've lived it and I've heard so many stories. I've listened to so many doctors, but they don't sometimes believe me or they put it off. Like, yeah, I'll try that, when I this state and or
Yeah.
I might start doing that. And that's how I've been for meditation. And I really feel like I want to make a conscious commitment, a date, a start, and do it because I do feel like I'm finally getting the point that, I'm a little stubborn. Look, it took me 42 years to start eating right.
You're a goat. You're a Capricorn. So stubbornness is in your trait pool.
Buddha has a comment for you. She said, "You're right, JJ. I started doing mindful meditation after learning I have blood clot situation that can take me out." And she does yoga too. Oh, wow. Well,
Wow.
thank you for sharing that. But that
Yeah. Yeah.
that will
Have
do
you
it.
ever suffered with panic attacks because of that, Buddha? Like, am I going to wake up tomorrow, or any do things or have things set you off, and is that what started you to meditating? Because it did for me. um I tell you, when you get older too, and as that date draws closer to you, we all know it's inevitable. um it also, it's two schools of thought. And I tell Jen this because I'm 10 years older than Jen. Almost, I'm like 8.5, 9 years older
But
than
looks
her.
10 years younger. Isn't that funny?
And one of the things that I tell her, and it's kind of cool that I'm older because a lot of things that she's going through, I've gone through. So I can share with her my experiences and kind of guide her through and say, listen, this is what's going to happen. And one thing that I tell you all the time is it never goes away. It is a daily thing that you're going to have to practice. And from here on out, when you start feeling like you have to do an OCD thing, or you feel some sort of panic attack coming on, feel free to just grab me if I'm doing something and verbalize it, get it out.
Hmm.
Because if you leave it inside your mind, it's going to spread throughout your body and fester. And it's going to cause you to ultimately end up having a panic attack if you try to deal with it on your own. And if you're by yourself, damn it, put it out in the universe.
Yeah.
Just talk out loud. Talk to yourself.
That's been
Hey,
helping me a lot
yeah,
because I've been
get it
doing
out.
that for about a month now. Like I used to just like sometimes I will see something. I know this sounds a little crazy, but I'll see
Nothing
something
sounds crazy to me.
online and or like on Facebook or maybe a TV commercial come on and I'll be like, why did I hear that? Is that happening? Is that going to happen to me? But one of the things when I hear health type of stuff that really I think helps me deal with it is now that I've been eating the right way and haven't been drinking or eating processed foods even or meat, dairy, any of that, my mind automatically says, yeah, but JJ, you are going to it doesn't matter because your body heals itself. You've heard all these stories and you've been eating right now for 4 years. So a lot of times that kind of saves me and I come talk to you about it, talking it out and having that in my mind that I'm eating right. That's why it's like a circle. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't just fix my food because that wasn't helping. Like I need more
It's
sometimes
the
for the mind.
trifecta. Mind, body, and soul go together. You can't have a healthy mind without a healthy body, and vice versa. And those two together create a happy soul, a happy chi. You know what I mean? And when both of those are working on one accord, it's almost like 1 + 1 = 2.
Like
That
two
two,
foods that go together that
yeah,
do better.
yeah, that two is peace. Peace of mind, peace of body, peace of soul. When your mind and body are clicking, and food is a huge part of that. A lot of people don't realize that when you eat vegetables, when you eat things that are from of the earth, you tend to kind of are able to get more into a chill zone like the earth. You know what I mean? You're not so swayed this way and that way emotionally. You mentioned something earlier when you said the death of the animal. When you're eating dead flesh, you're eating death, and you tend to, whether you want to believe this or if you know it or not, you will tend to focus on that, and things will set you off that really shouldn't set you off as much. And as you get older, that just gets worse, especially as a woman. Your hormones kick in, and that whole menopause thing and all the
It's
sweating.
worse than puberty for me,
Oh
honestly.
my God, girl.
I had a pretty
It's
easy
terrible.
puberty, but
Women
and
have
I
it a
don't
little worse
have
than men.
the physical symptoms that a lot of people have, like hot flashes. I don't have like, aches and pains and different things that a lot of people have that are going through it. But the mental stuff, the hormones, that is where I think a lot of people start needing the mindfulness in their life. Buddha
Yeah,
said she has PTSD and anxiety, so it helps. Well, yes, thank
yeah,
you, because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember my grandmother like worrying a lot. And I feel like I got that from her. Like I'm worrying about stuff that
My dad's
never
mom did
happened,
too.
might happen, could happen,
And you
worried
gotta,
about
in
the
that moment,
family. I'm always
remember
worried
it's
about
a
my
thought.
mom and sister.
It's
Yeah.
a thought. It's not reality. And you can let thoughts are things, and they can become manifested in your reality if you keep focusing on them, because you're telling the universe, this is what I want to happen. Even if it's something that you don't want to happen, if you are constantly allowing your mind to go to that place, then you're focused on it, and the universe will answer you with that thing that you don't want.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is in that moment tell yourself that, hey, what do I really want to happen? This is something I'm acknowledging. It's a thought, it's a fear of mine, and I don't want that to happen. So let's move away from that. What do I
Yeah.
want to happen? And then start focusing on that. You see what I'm saying? And then on
Yeah.
top of it, if you eat the right foods, that'll help you to physically help your body to physically move into that zone along with your mind.
Hey, welcome, Janetta.
Hey, Janetta, what's up,
Nice to you.
babe?
I'm
Thanks for
glad you
coming.
made it. Thanks for coming in. Janetta, our big fan here. She's been a supporter for a while. Thank
Yeah,
you for that.
Janetta's a ride or die, baby. She's a ride or die, just like Buddha. Thank you, Janetta. Thank
Yes.
you for coming.
Thank you both. It really means a lot.
It's so funny how some of the people that you used to work with fell off so quickly, but Janetta and KT still. That's how you know who's real. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
We
Not
spend
that
a lot
those
of
other
people.
people aren't real, but come
Yeah.
on, let's call
And
a
a lot
spade.
of them
That's just
still
real. That's
listen.
what's
They're
up,
just
Janetta.
sometimes listening while working or not commenting and things like that. So
Yeah,
I loved
because
everybody I
they
met
can't.
there. And I know that a lot of the people that used to join were not, necessarily interested in Meatless Monday. They
Yeah,
were more or less just coming to support me, because when you see someone day to day, it's like I'm able to give a reminder, and
right.
and then you kind of disconnect. But I definitely will always stay connected, and I think
Yeah.
Jen has popped in
Yep, she's
once or
popped in.
twice. Jesse and
Jesse, yeah, they're good people. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Rebecca
Like
has
the
come to a
ADT
few.
folks that pop in on my stream. I love
Yeah,
that. That shows support. You know what I
I
mean?
need those ADT folks over here. That's got they need to come
I'm
show me.
working
My
on them.
mind would be
I'm
really
working
good
on
if I
them.
could make millions.
Dude, I'm working on them, but you got a lot of meat eaters over
Got a lot of
there.
help, right? I got a lot of
Yeah,
meat eaters everywhere, and that I think is part of it. Why there's so many, like Narakita does vegan coaching for vegans in June as well, because like when you start to see what really goes on behind the scenes, and you're watching everybody putting stuff in their body that is unhealthy for them, and you're hearing about slaughterhouses and what happens to animals and workers in those places, and the cows. It's like I think that can take a toll on you too, because you're trying to change the world sometimes, but you have
mm-hmm.
to take everybody in their time, and you've been really patient with me changing my mind, so to say. So that's
It's
why I'm
all
really
good,
patient.
baby.
It's hard to do something that you don't necessarily buy into,
Yep,
or you don't want to
yep, yep,
research,
yep.
because I got so many things going on. I'm so busy doing the stuff with the channel, working the two jobs. All of a sudden, it's like, when am I going to find time? But I have to find time to meditate, I've realized, and to do things that are going to help me spiritually because it'll make me so much better. I like it.
Meditation and vegetation. You know, those two go hand in hand, especially if you're a vegan. If you can learn how to put these two together and use them in your life, I'm telling you, it'll be hard pressed for your pain body to take over. And what I mean by that is your fearful thoughts becoming who you are and living in fear all the time of something. You'll learn to accept death as a part of the life cycle and be okay with it, so that when it if and when you are presented with it, you'll just transform like you're supposed to, and there's not going to be a whole lot of anxiety around it. You got to let go of the fear of it and realize, number one, it's inevitable, and meditation can help you do that. You know what I mean? Not that you're focused on death while you're meditating, but it can help you put your mind at ease about a lot of things and let you realize that, hey, there's a circle of life and transformation, as I like to call it. Because do we ever really die? You know, my mom, I think about her every day. Prince, I think about him all the time. It was the anniversary of his death recently, and he was on everybody's mind. When you're on, I mean, I never knew him personally. I didn't become a huge Prince fan until after he transformed over to the other shore. So he still affected my life once, even though his physical body was no longer still here. There's tons of YouTube videos, interviews. If you don't know Prince, go look at YouTube and you will know Prince. If you don't know how to do something, go look on YouTube and you'll figure out how to do it. When I went to Doxy Meditation, and I started listening to it while I was asleep, he would talk, and he does talk about how, you learn how to be grateful and let things go that you can't do anything about. He teaches you how to breathe and teaches you that breath work is huge. If you take a couple of deep breaths in and hold them for a couple seconds and let them out really slow, you will feel your body immediately begin to relax. Whether you feel relaxed or not, your body will start to relax. And that's a trick that a lot of people don't know that they have in their arsenal. Your body will begin to relax if you learn how to focus and do deep breathing. And when your body relaxes, then you can begin working on your mind relaxing. You know what I'm
Let
saying?
me ask you this too, because I think a lot of times the reason that holds me back from meditation is I keep myself so busy because sometimes I don't want to think. What do you like? Can you explain meditation and like what you go through? Because I don't really think I understand what you do when you're meditating. Like, do you listen to something or specific, and what do you focus on, or just focus on what's in your mind, or what they're saying on the tape or whatever you're listening to? Tape. I sound old.
I tell you what, I focus on one of the main things about meditation is you try to empty your mind of all thought. And that's not an easy thing to do. For somebody like you, I would definitely recommend listening to affirmations, because if you can't empty your mind of all thought because it's constantly racing, then redirect your thoughts. If you're going to be thinking anyway and you can't just absolutely completely empty your mind of thought, which is what meditation is, and it's emptying the mind of all thought. But if you can't do that, then that's fine. Then focus on something that's positive, that's going to make you feel good. And affirmations is the perfect thing for that. And Doxy has a whole, that's all his channel is sleep meditation affirmations. And the reason why they're sleep meditations is because when you listen to those affirmations while you're sleeping,
Mhm.
your gatekeeper is asleep, which is your conscious waking mind that we all walk around and live with and use to function every day. But it's a gatekeeper. It has its own idea about things. And if you try to change it, you're not going to be able to do it just by reading something or listening to something. It has to be changed at a subconscious level to actually change you and how you think and feel about something. And to get to your subconscious, you got to listen to it while you're asleep.
That makes sense. And so that's like what you're saying here, Buddha said, I would say it depends, because you can't stop thought, like, and that's normal. Let it come, acknowledge, and let it pass. She was also answering me, and that makes a lot of sense. Not only doing the meditation, taking that time.
That's why I said redirect it, because it's not always an easy. You can empty your mind of thoughts. You focus on just a black image, just a plain black image, and just be in silence. You can empty your mind of
I
thought,
bet it gets
but
easier.
it's very hard. It's very hard. It's hard for me to do it. You know what I mean? So that's why I listen to Doxy. Instead of me trying to empty my mind of thought, I just switch it to positive affirmations of gratitude, of letting go of all stress and worry and things that cause me anxiety. And I'm focusing on, it's okay to feel anxiety in the moment, focus on it, and then let it go, breathe it out. Acknowledge that I'm a human being and I feel stressed out right now, and that's okay. It's a stressful situation that I'm in, or I've been through trauma. It's okay to feel fear. Okay, now let's let that fear go, because we can't let the fear perpetuate and control our lives. And on top of that, let's eat more vegetables and things that are of the earth that'll help my body calm down. And if you start to do that more on a regular basis, you'll start to find that your mind and body will gel together.
And I've noticed what you do too, and this all probably plays a part in it. You work out, then you do the yoga to kind of
Yeah,
come down. And
to wind down and
when
stretch.
you
Yep,
do yoga, are you also simultaneously meditating, or you do a
I
meditation
am.
after the yoga?
I am. I'm listening to Doxy while I'm doing yoga.
Wow.
And then when I'm done yoga, I sit in an Indian style position and then just listen to the affirmations over and over while I do breath work. Wim Hof is another person that is excellent for breath work. He has a series of videos. It's WM and then HOFF. He's an older guy who has things like cold therapy, where he teaches you how to take cold showers and get in the shower and slowly, gradually get it to freezing. But you have to remain calm while you're doing that, and you breathe through that. And next thing you know, you're standing in a shower of freezing cold water and it's not affecting you. And it's a strengthening your immune system while you do it. So it's a whole nother thing, but it's a different type of meditation. It's exhilarating. It's really good. But yeah, at the end of yoga, I sit Indian style and I just listen to the affirmations over and over that I've listened to the entire time I was doing yoga. And I just breathe in, hold it, and let it out really slow, and just focus on those thoughts that I'm listening to.
Wow, that's neat. Um, and
Yeah.
I'm really interested in doing this. Would you think that also you do you end up like feeling like you're better at it now, or when did you start seeing changes like from doing it? Like did you start immediately feeling that, or was it like over a period?
No, because I was a lot like you. I wasn't completely bought in yet to how's listening to this gonna help me. It's like I feel like a lot of anxiety right now. Listening to this stuff is not doing anything to help me. So when I realized it was because I was listening to it while I was awake, and listening to it while I was sleeping would be more effective for me because it was deeply rooted in my subconscious because of the cancer thing. That's what worked for me. It may not work for everybody, but it worked for me to listen to the stuff while I was sleeping. That way, while I'm awake now, it's okay. Everybody remember the Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Wax on, wax off. He was being taught karate while doing something normal and didn't think about it and didn't know he was learning it. Well, the same thing is true with sleep meditations. If you listen to them while you're sleeping and your conscious mind is knocked out sleep, your subconscious takes it in, uses it, and before you know it, throughout the regular day, you're thinking differently and you didn't even realize what happened.
Right.
It's like you've changed without realizing that you've changed.
It's kind of
And
like
you
an
will begin to
evolution, right?
live through that. Yeah, you'll begin to live through that and start to think, well, wait a minute, that used to bother me. and it doesn't now.
Yeah.
And now I have control back of, oh, that's just a thought. Yeah, that's just a thought trying to get in and trying to mess with my mind. I'm gonna let you go. I feel you. You want me to be afraid, but I'm not with that right
You
now.
know what?
And it became easier the more I did it. It took me a couple of years of doing that in order for me to actually feel the change.
That is really cool. I think I'll start putting it
Yeah.
on not only then, but if I'm working, and not working on the phone, obviously, where I can have background noise, like maybe,
Yeah.
when I'm doing my chat on Monday, or even between, like if I have a lunch and I'm doing something else, that might help it get in too, because I won't
Yeah,
really
let it
be
play in the
focused
background.
on it. So that will be really cool. And I need to also add in a workout regimen, because I used to like always work out. That's one of the things that's changed. And since I lost weight and I eat like as much as I want and I don't gain weight, it's like I kind of
Yeah.
took working out for me. I forgot it actually made me raise the endorphins and feel good. And maybe that's
Yeah,
another
that
reason.
serotonin, the
Yeah.
dopamine rush, yeah. If you have that on a daily basis, your body remembers how to access it. Because think about it, if you don't allow your body to get that dopamine rush and feel the serotonin and all of that happening, it will forget. It will forget to use those things.
Hmm.
And from what I understand, Parkinson's is rooted in that. It's like a lack of dopamine or a lack of being able to access the dopamine, the body. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So that's another reason I work out, is because I don't want my body forgetting how to feel good.
Yeah.
I don't want my mind forgetting what feeling happy is like.
Yeah.
So I do things that make me feel that way so that my body, it's just like a muscle.
Yeah.
It's just like working out a muscle. Your mind is also an intangible muscle that you have to work out.
And you know what?
And if,
Getting older might be the same way our muscles get when they're older. We might have to work a
oh, hell
little
yeah.
harder when we're in our 40s to get that right, or 50s.
Yeah, do those memory exercises and keep your memory strong. You don't have to lose your memory because you're getting older. You don't have to age badly. You don't have to go through a lot of the stuff that people who age go through if you keep doing the things that you've always done when you were younger. And some people may say, well, it's hard for me to do that. Okay, well, first of all, you're thinking that it's hard. So you're automatically it's going to be hard for you because that's where your mind is, instead of doing some things that might help you, adapt to it or slowly adapt to it and then build it up physically. You know what I mean? But it all starts here. It all starts with, okay, this is going to be a challenge, but one thing I'm going to tell myself is if I put my mind to it, I can do this. I can accomplish this, and believe it and feel it. And then start doing things slowly but surely, little bit at a time. Like for you, I would just start with deep breathing. Don't try to focus and meditate and all. Just start with, like, when you're at work, and a good time is if something stresses you out at work or there's a situation where something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it in through the nose and out through the mouth. Put, you know what, sir? Let me check on that for you real quick. Hold on 1 second. Take a
Well, yeah, I
pause.
do that for sure. That's probably
Yeah,
the only
man.
time I do deep breathing, like, but not as much as I should, like in general. Like, okay, I feel like I have a lot of stuff at work. I overdoing customer service so long. I've learned
Yeah,
ways my mind knows how to deal with that and not to take it personally and just to kind of empathize and get through it. But it's like I have to use those same techniques in regular stressors, or at least what my mind thinks is a stressor, because sometimes it's a bunch of
yeah.
stuff that ain't even happening. It's just that I think,
Yeah.
oh, I hope
It's like your mind will definitely play a soap opera out full and make you, oh my goodness, what if? Yeah, but is it?
right.
Is it happening? No, it's not. It's what if. It's suppose that, yeah, but right now it's a thought. It's not happening. Okay. So, and don't keep projecting that something that you don't want to happen. Is it, ask yourself when you're thinking, try to catch yourself in the process of it when you're visualizing something bad that you don't want to happen. If you can snap out of it for 2 seconds and be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm just thinking about that, it's not really happening.
Right.
Oh, okay. Get in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like snap
When
yourself
you
out
start
of it.
to,
Get in
you
the moment.
have to,
Whoa, I was just visualizing something that I didn't want to happen. Thank God
meditation
that was a dream
probably
and this is real.
brings you into the moment, which is what, is so important. Buddha said he was also learning Tai Chi, if I remember, which also helps clear your head. That was, I think, Wim Hof.
Wim Hof, yeah.
I'm
Yeah, yeah,
interested.
yeah.
I wonder, Tai Chi. I haven't,
Oh
I've
man,
heard of
it's kind
that.
of like yoga.
Is it really? Is it like kind of like where they're doing some kind of thing? Like I've seen.
It's like a constant slow movement. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Um, I'm not familiar with it. I've never done it, but I'm familiar with it, but I've never done it. But yeah, it's a cool thing to watch. It's like you can see a lot of older people doing it. It's Asian as well, but it's like, you can see people just constantly doing this
Yeah,
slow mo.
I've seen it.
That's next, Buddha. That's next. I need to dig into some Tai Chi, dude, because Tai Chi looks cool as hell. It's like I have all these I have a yoga routine that I do, and I've memorized it, so I just do it because it helps me stretch out too. And it just consists of some regular stuff, down dog, and you know what I mean, just Virabhadrasana, the warrior, and all of that. But it's I would love to get into some Tai Chi.
And what okay, so we've discussed, okay, yoga, meditation, and listen to things subliminally. Is there anything else that you do or during your meditation that you find has, like, when you started like eating more healthy, do you feel like your meditation and things have went to another level, or your mindfulness?
It was pretty cool before,
Mhm.
but I notice now, um honestly, I don't need to do it as often as I used to
That makes a lot of sense.
because of the food.
Yeah, it's kind
You
of
know
like
what
the
I
working
mean?
out physically for me. I don't have to do it as much because I stay
Yeah.
in the same weight because of the food. So it's kind of like with
I do
you.
it because I want to stay
Yes,
healthy mentally, and I want to stay in a peaceful place. And just like what I said before about working it out, I make myself do it because I don't want to forget the benefits that I get from meditation and yoga. And I notice sometimes, I don't need to do it as often, but if I get into a stretch where I get a little lazy and I don't work out or I don't do yoga, I feel it after a couple of days of not doing it. Oh, it's like my body and mind's like, hey, mom, what's up? Mama bear. Can we get some meditation and yoga in? Can we work out? Because, yeah, I need a dopamine rush. I need to do some breathing. My body and mind will tell me, hey, I feel a little stressed. We need to do some working out and some yoga. Let's not
right.
get too many days under our belt where we're not doing
I
that.
can
My body and
notice
mind
that
will
too
feel it.
about you some days. I can tell when something just gets a little more to you than it normally does, because
Yeah, yeah,
it's kind of like it's like you're such in a zone that nothing can really get in when you have that kind of arsenal. I guess it's the same as staying consistent with anything too, because if you think about it,
yeah,
okay, I ate a salad last week, that's not going to do anything, I mean, it is, you've put some good stuff in you, but sometimes we
yeah,
want it, like, results right away. But even though when
yeah,
you do eat plant-based, I noticed results within a month, but it
yeah,
still took consistency to get to where I needed to be and get all that other stuff cleared out. So I think your mind is the same. You have to consistent, even if you feel good, that's I'm
yeah,
not going to stop eating healthy because I feel good. I'm going to keep putting
yeah.
more in.
And it takes 30 days to create a true habit.
Hmm.
So that creates the consistency. Challenge yourself to meditate for 30 days straight or listen to subliminal healing 30 days straight. And then it won't be such a chore. It'll be what you do. It will become a natural, normal thing. Okay, this time of night I meditate. This time of night, okay. When I go to bed, I haven't been listening subliminally because my subconscious is chock full of it.
Yeah.
it's chock full. It's like it's in there now. And it's after years of doing that. To your point, it's not going to happen after 1 month. It's not going to happen after 6 months. To in order to truly change it where I don't need the headset now. You know what I mean? And if I find that I'm having a difficult time adjusting to something, or I'm finding that I can't move past the anxiety, even with your that headset goes right back on,
Mhm.
and I do not take it off until I find myself into a place where I'm not, needing it as frequently.
It's
You
like
know what I
having
mean? And I know
medicine
that
for your
internally.
mind, you know?
It
And
is.
that's like, I
It
think
is.
us, like with me, I don't know if everybody knows, I've probably told you, but I eat the same thing like literally almost every single night. Like sometimes I'll add more vegetables on, so the routine gets, now Brussels sprouts are included. So you've seen what all I put in my salad, and now
Yep.
I have added on a cooked food like the Brussels sprouts and rice, and I eat the same thing. So this shouldn't be too hard for me to form a habit, because
Yeah.
I've been eating the same thing for 4 years, except for when we have like tacos or something off the wall that, and
Yep.
when I went into my process thing, but that was a whole nother story. I'm back on
Dude, I'm excited about this lentil
someone.
stew
Oh
tonight.
yeah, let's talk about that. So we've been cooking lentils, as you know, like we've been on that kick.
For like a week straight.
And like
It's
we
maybe two.
usually, they're so quick to cook because we get them in the bag. So the canned beans, if you can help it, don't get the canned beans unless you absolutely have to, because they have chemicals in them, and it's everything
Sodium,
that
high sodium.
can sit for all that time in a can has salt and different things. So I used to get canned beans all the time. We started buying them in the bag, but the thing was, you were supposed to soak them overnight, and I kept having to buy a can of beans because I'm like, I forgot to soak the beans.
I never soak beans.
So she makes lentils in like what, 20, 30 minutes. We
Yeah,
can put them
about
in a
that.
slow cooker.
Because they're not as dense. They're so little.
And if
Beans, you cook them for a couple hours. You don't need to soak them. Rinse them real good and cook them for a couple hours, and they'll soften right up.
and they are really good. So tonight she decided, this evening she was like, I think this would be a good, like if I made a stew. So what all did you put in it?
I made it. I put a little bit more water in it this time because when I normally cook them, I leave them a little bit on the dry side so they're meat. I put them in a taco or in a burrito shell, and oh my god, man, it's like eating ground beef. You put some taco seasoning on it, it is so good. So tonight though, I say, you know what, Jen, I'm gonna add a little bit more water in and make them a little soupy. I want to try to do like a lentil stew or soup. And so I put some broccoli florets, like, just like, well, you gave me that big broccoli floret, and I just broke the little trees off of it and put that in there. I cut up some carrot. I put a bunch of onion in it because I love onion
Mushrooms?
and mushrooms. And I think that might be it.
Like
Yeah.
I've been
And just put some
eating
salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic powder, and that was it.
I've been eating them
Sea
separate. I've been
salt.
eating the beans and rice, and then I've been eating a bowl of, like, in addition to the whole big raw salad with everything. Then I've been having Brussels sprouts, cabbage, broccoli, celery. What else?
Brussels sprouts basically are like baby cabbages, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
they
much.
are. They're really cool. I'm like into them big time now.
I
So,
saw a little group of them in there that I don't think you knew were in the fridge. That's not part of your main group. I think I might try to
oh, there's a
chop
lot
those
of
up.
them. I've
Huh?
got a lot if you want to take some extra.
I
You
think I
can
will chop some of
get
those
the
up
water
with some
cooler and go to
onion
the fridge.
tonight and some carrots and try that out because
Oh,
I
carrots.
slice up the dot. Yeah, I put carrots in it. But
That's
I
what I
slice
was.
up the cabbage, but I think I'll try some of those tonight.
That sounds like a plan. And because, well, and then you just reminded me of other stuff. Carrots. I put that in there too. So I'm wondering if
Oh,
and
and
then I
corn. I put some corn in it.
corn. I eat corn in
Yeah.
my salad. I don't usually eat it in the cooked food, but maybe I could take all of that. However, I make up that vegetable mix, put it in with the beans. You just gave me a really good idea. And I eat mushrooms in that mixture. Then I could have the beans, all the veggies, kind of those flavors with a little bit of pepper and sea salt and salt, and then put those in together
Were
on
we
top
supposed
of
to
the
be cooking
rice.
tonight?
Well, that's what I said
You know
earlier.
what? We'll get
I
it.
said we didn't get it together because we were gonna like pre-do it and then play the video. So it's just been a little crazy. But that's why I told her at the beginning I wanted to talk about what we were having for dinner. So at least if you need an idea, you need some bean stew. Is that
Yeah,
what you called it?
lentil stew.
BS, we can call it. Or LS. Yeah, let's go LS. That BS sounds like it's not even right. Buddha said, I'm doing yoga poses right now as I watch and listen to y'all. This stew sounds like the
What?
bomb. Thank you. Look at this. We got interactive guests here with us.
I
We got
know that's right.
you guys
That's
make me want
awesome.
to do yoga right now.
I just finished it right before here.
I
I
know.
did my workout. What it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and
Take us through that routine.
well, I just get on the total gym for about a half hour, 40 minutes, and I have a series of exercises that I do with the pulleys, and then I'll take the pulley off, and then I put the bar up, and I'll do some, because it's got the flatbed that you lay on, and I'll do some pull-ups and then put my feet under it and do sit-ups. Um and then I'll do, because with the landing you can do squats. I'll do some squats, and then I go over on the spinner on the bike and get on there for 45 minutes at a pretty moderate speed. I usually put on like some techno or something, and I'm just going to that for about a good 40. I go 45 minutes. I was doing an hour, but I'm like, that's kind of overkill. I want to do more than a half an hour. 40 minutes is a perfect zone. That's when it really affects your body. So and I do it at, those 25-minute workouts where they're doing it at a high pace. I do that for 45 minutes on the bike. So I'm like, I get to going on there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And right when that's done, I'll go in and I'll wind down it with yoga and meditation and do some breath work once I'm done that. And then I just get a shower, and then I'm, in here.
That was cool. I'm
But
like,
and
you
that's 5 days a week. That's Monday through
between
Friday.
you
Take
and
Saturday and Sunday off. Got to get a breather. Got to let your body recoup.
I'll get so hooked on it though. I'll be doing it on the weekends too because this reminds me of what we talked about. Was it not last week, but 2 weeks ago when we were on the vegan empowerment with Marakita? Remember, you were like, "Yeah, I showed her this raw thing because I was getting into sprouts, and all of a sudden she takes it and runs with it and has like." Stops eating meat, starts eating raw altogether for like now 4 years. And it's like, I feel like the same thing. We were laughing earlier. She's literally been telling me this for years and years. You need to
Yeah,
meditate.
I went off into the yoga and meditation. She went off into the vegan thing, and both of us are kind of like masters of. So now we're trying to marry it together, much like we are.
Right? That would be cool though. I think that's a cool like stream to have each week, where
Yeah.
we have a segment that we can talk about mine because when I was like, actually, this is weird. I was gonna say when I was younger,
I
but
did your thing. You got to do my thing
I
now.
will do it. Fine. And I'm
I'm
gonna
a
do it
vegan.
better. Yes. You happen to go vegan now, so I can't say, well, you didn't eat the right food. Now we're finally going to be clicking on all cylinders. Is that what
Yep.
you call it? Because we're not putting diesel gas in our
Well,
regular.
and it's not a thing of I told you so or any of that. I
I like
I
it
live
though.
with you. I know what you go through mentally on a daily basis with struggling, because I did it. I
Mhm.
went through that, and it's like I try to tell you, listen, babe, this helped me. One day you'll do it, but I have to let you do it. Now, you're a grown ass woman.
That's
You
the
do
thing
things in
we
your
were
own
talking about,
time. Yeah,
and
we
I
don't
think
push each other.
we're going to do a stream about that too. Our
We
vegan journey.
mention, but we don't try to force.
Yeah, our
you
vegan
know?
journey, the way that it happened together, it was kind of wild because we both started, and then she kind of decided to be like more vegetarian, and then
Yeah,
sometimes the other, and then it all came full circle. But the same way, I wouldn't, continue to push her because that can push people the other way. You
yeah,
can only do what you're doing, and you've done that. And I feel like now lately you've mentioned it more because I tend to mention more that I'm dealing with these hormonal swings more. So it's like now it's sometimes you have to wait until people are ready in their own time. And
you
that's what
do.
I love about people that come on here just to support us and listen to the stream, even if they're not completely even interested, and they might hear something that resonates with them. Because
And makes them
for
change.
me and you, it was a journey. Like I'm not vegan for the same. I wasn't even vegan when I started. I was on a diet. And then when I started feeling better, I evolved to say, hey, why am I feeling this good? I thought that was a bunch of crap. Like, I'm even sorry to say, am I allowed to say crap? Oh, yeah, I said it. I didn't say a cuss word, but I didn't know what vegan was. I thought they were weird. People, honestly. And now I'm like, I am that person. So sometimes you have to open your mind to it. And even like when you used to say meditate, I'm like, what am I going to sit there and just, you sometimes will think in your head, I don't think I can do that. But when you do it, I just know that I'm going to have the same results, because you learn as you go too.
I knew that one day you would come to that conclusion. And a lot of times your mind will force you to do that because you'll get tired of living that way. You'll get tired, you'll get pissed at yourself, you'll get pissed at God damn, why what this fear thing, man. I can't deal. You know what I mean? And some people it takes to another level. Some people commit suicide.
Hmm.
Some people can't deal with that. When their
Yeah,
mind starts going south like that and they can't control it and they can't get a grip and they're
because they don't
constantly
really think it
depressed,
through.
yeah, man, some people don't make it out of that forest.
Yeah.
So I'm truly blessed and grateful and thankful that the universe led me to the things that I needed to pull myself together, and it's,
Yeah.
leading me to help others do that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, but you only can really truly know that if you've been there, just like counselors with drug addicts. They had to have, the best counselors are recovering addicts or people who have been through it because they know what you're feeling. They know what you're going through.
Yeah.
So, who better to tell you if they made it out how to get out?
Right.
You know?
It's like the same way when I try to speak to, it's like you talking to me about the mindfulness and saying, well, I don't know if I could do that, or I don't have time, this and that. I might do it. It's the same when I talk to somebody who says, I can't do that. I can't give up meat. That's all I eat. Or I like it too much. It tastes good. Like I was there with you. So I
Yeah.
think I can help understand how people where they're at. If I had been vegan since the moment I was, born and never had meat, you don't understand that transition or that. And that is mindfulness too, because you actually have to change your mind before you change your diet.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with meditation. You have to believe it at least enough to try it, which is where I'm at the stage I'm at right now. Like I've been seeing your positive changes, just like when you saw my weight loss and getting rid of the allergies and back pain, and you were like, hey, maybe I'm going to revisit that again. That's the same way I'm feeling now, because I'm like, okay, you don't deal with any of this stuff, you're just really calm, and I'll be freaking out, like, not like I'm a
Oh,
pretty
you
calm
talked me
person.
down from many a panic attack, though, babe. So
Yeah.
before you started experiencing anxiety like that, you
Yeah.
were my rock that would talk me down. And I know at the time you probably were like, "Wow, what's happening with
What's
her?"
wrong with her? Right. That's
Yeah,
I'm like, oh no, I'm dealing with
I remember one night we had a buddy come over and we smoked a little herb.
not me. That was you.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, my heart started beating really fast and I just started thinking, you're gonna die. You're gonna have a heart attack right now. You're gonna die. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be thinking that. I don't want to be thinking that. And I just walked away and I'm like, okay, but I can't seem to get control of it. And what happens is they feed off each other. The feeling feeds off the thought, then the thought feeds off the feeling, and then vice versa. And they just keep playing tag. And before you know it, you are trapped in the middle like this. And all you can do is feel the fear and think these fearful thoughts. You're feeling fear, you're thinking fear. You're feeling fear, you're thinking fear. You're thinking fear, you're feeling it. And you just become this big glob of fear. Before you know it, you are having a full blown out panic attack. And it is no joke because stress kills. You can literally bring it to you if that's what you want. And I literally remember looking at you, holding my shoulder, saying, baby, you're okay. You're fine. It was like, I was like, if you do this, hold your hands up to your eyes like you're making the binoculars.
Yeah.
That was how I saw you. It was like my soul was looking through my body, and this is literally what it looked like. It was like I was in there and you reached me some kind of way. And I just was looking at you, but I wasn't me. I was in this whole fear state. And I'm like, I kept saying, no, I feel like I'm getting ready to die right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm
And
looking at
that's
you through these,
why.
and you're like, you're okay, babe, you're okay. And I had to somehow, I remember just kind of saying to even in that moment, and I remember what helped me was I realized how much I was scaring you
Yeah.
and worrying you. And that pulled me out of my own bullshit. And I'm
Hmm.
like, look what you're doing to her. Look how scared she is. Are you trying to
Right.
leave her right now? No, you're not. So you
Yeah.
need to get a grip. And somewhere in there, you doing that pulled me through. And I remember going over to the window and raising it and just breathing in some air. And that's funny. Now that I think back on it, I did breath work without knowing what breath work was.
That's
I
pretty
was
cool.
breathing. You know what I mean? It is hot in this room, man.
Well, you
Good
just getting
God.
your because you're doing it to me. My body was starting to elevate and my heart was beating. It's funny what it just proves to you what your mind
But
can do
breathing,
to your own, like to your
that's
body.
what calmed
Because
me down. It got my body to calm down.
mhm.
Wow. In retrospect, that's pretty amazing. And
I
I
came
guess
over there earlier and you had I felt like the heat was on. Maybe it's just
it was. Is that still
maybe,
on?
or I was manifesting and feeling
I
your
think my
workout
heat
heat.
is still on. Hold on one second. I gotta turn that off, man.
Well, that's another thing when that was really sweet what you said
Oh my
about you
God, you
wanted
were right, dude.
you didn't want to like do it because it was
The
something that
heat
was
was on.
scaring me. Sometimes we have to like get outside of ourselves and think about others and live in the
Yeah.
moment, because you're not going to be good for anyone if you are both mentally or physically not well,
Unstable.
and you can and it's such an interesting thing that I think if I was still eating the way I was and maybe putting substances in my body that was altering them, like, like you said, like maybe marijuana or, alcohol, like, it's different if you have a drink every now and then, but if you're doing it to get out of your head, you're not learning to deal with those emotions yourself, and sometimes it might get a little worse at that point. It's the same as when you first eat, you're detoxing your body, so sometimes you have to get your mind that muscle, like you said,
And
those
weed
first
can
couple
bring
of weeks.
about paranoia too.
Some
You definitely don't want to be going through a panic attack high, because
Right.
that is the worst.
But you know what I noticed when you come out of a yoga session, and it's like kind of like sometimes if I'll drink like this really good smoothie, it's like you realize that you get to a level of calm. And I know I'll probably sound crazy to people who might still get high or something, but you really do, like, you look like you are high, like on life, because you're just in this relaxed state when you come out of
I
there,
am.
you know? And
I am definitely high on life.
last week, Angel was talking too about our foods really increase our frequency, and they like, so I feel like that's why that goes kind of hand in hand with when you start eating right and you start meditating. I'm like excited to what level this can take me to. Like next week
Yeah.
when we meet, you know, or maybe not next week, but like in a month, I might be on here like, what's up? I am Zen Jen. I am no
Zen
longer,
Jen.
yeah,
Might
but you
change
know,
your name to Zen.
Zen, right? Yeah, like I'm excited about this because I
I'm
feel like
excited
that's
for you, babe.
been like the missing link. You know, I think remember when you were eating, you went vegan, and so you were still eating the pizza that you always tell us about. When you finally gave it up and you came to me and you were like, wow, I feel so clear. And I just saw a commercial with cheese, and I knew at that moment that you weren't putting that in your arteries, you weren't causing the insulin resistance with that. Just, and it was one little thing, but it was like such a big thing because
Yeah, because I don't drink
you were
cow's
doing
milk. I don't
everything
eat
else right, you know?
butter. I wasn't eating cheese because cheese isn't my thing, right? Like I hated it on sandwiches. I never ate it on burgers or sandwiches, but pizza was just my jam.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally, when I say addicted to pizza, I mean addicted to pizza. I would order a large pizza with onions. Like I would get on kicks where I would order that. I would order that stuff like 2, 3 times, 2, 3 days in a row, back to back to back, and sit there and eat the whole damn pizza. You know what I mean? And then as I started losing weight, I got to a point where I couldn't eat the whole pizza. I'd eat half of it. I'd eat a couple slices, and then I'd go back and eat a couple slices a little bit later. And then I didn't have to worry about you wanting any because you were strict on your veganism. But that's what I love about our relationship and our marriage. The whole not put it's like, babe, you're getting a pizza. All right. I know one day you'll stop, but you're doing so well with everything else. And then that's it. That's the end of the guilt trip. She wouldn't say nothing else. She's like, if you want it though, get it. You
You know,
know?
and I think with you, what happened with the cow, seeing the video of Gary Rofsky, the reason
Yeah.
you never ate meat again was because of that video.
The meat was
Was
easy.
I don't think you made that connection of what happens to cows. So then it became not about you. See,
I
you're
did.
very,
I
you're
made the connection. I just, with the regards to the
ignored.
pizza, that's what I mean. It's like being a drug addict that's addicted to some crack or something. You're hurting people around you. You don't care.
Yeah.
And food can be addictive. When I say I was addicted. I'm like, I know this is mucus. I don't care. I know I'm a vegan. I don't care. I'm gonna eat this pizza. That's the
Yes.
only thing I'm doing wrong, but I'm gonna do it because I
And you
want it.
you justify because like, oh, I'm
Yeah, I'm
doing
like,
everything
I
else right.
want it, so I'm gonna have it. And I just could not stop eating pizza. And I was like, I'm not gonna, I can't. That's my thing. But when I realized it's so weird. After those couple of days of being clear of not having it, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm starting to correlate. Didn't you say that causes mucus? And you're like, yeah. Well, I noticed that I took a break for a week or two, and my sinuses are really clear, and I don't have any phlegm or anything in my chest or anything. And you're like, yeah. So I'm like, but then I was only fresh a week or two not eating it. I'd still eat it. Okay, well, I know it's mucus. So what? I want it. It had me like that, like a freaking drug. And I'm like, I need me a pizza. I'm getting ready to watch a movie and chill. It's pizza time.
Connected, that's what it was connected with. So we realized too,
Yeah.
emotionally, food, we're connected by food emotionally. And that's what I said. Now that I've built so many memories, starting with just my first experience when I was feeling better, creating my vegan channel, and like coming on and going in the kitchen, listening to my videos, putting the salads together, talking to you about it. I had to create new emotional connections with healthy food rather than saying, okay, this is when we used to get steak when it was like something, we're celebrating, we're going to
Yeah.
have steak or whatever, like people connect that. Thanksgiving is another one, but then you had to make new memories. Now I think when I think of Thanksgiving, I know what I used to eat, but now we make a vegan Thanksgiving, and I feel like I remember mom buying all those vegetables that very first.
Dude, I have to share something too. Do you know that me talking about that, it used to set me off. I couldn't talk about it like that because then it would make me want to order one. Well, my tongue actually did just start watering for pizza. So I know I'm not out of the woods yet. But
Yeah.
it's not to a point where I want to order it. I am that far out of it. Like that right there would have set me off to a point where I would have had a bad week. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I know I'm probably going to end up ordering one at some point and the more I talked about it, I actually I could feel a craving trying to come at me.
What did you tell us last week, though? Don't you see what did you say now? You see like a
Oh
secretion?
yeah, the cool thing is I'm done. I am done. It's like I can feel it trying to come for me, and I am like behind a glass now, like going, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm behind here now. You can't get to me. I see you. I remember how good it tasted. Yeah, I do. I do. Trust and believe. But guess what? No. I'm like
You just
behind
said
the
just
glass
make you a
now.
vegan pizza. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
all you have to
smoking a
do.
cigarette. It's like,
That's the
oh,
wild thing.
hell
You
no.
can still get all the same taste. That's what I try to explain to people. You can make these creations like if we really want a burger, you can have a burger. They have things, like if you have a craving that bad, you can get that type of stuff, which is cool. I've tried to move away from now. I just feel like I like making beans taste like whatever I want, because it's the spices that really matter. But there's tons of items that you can get that substitute other things. There's a
Dude,
video I
speaking
made
of
on both that
lentils,
and dairy. I mean, there are so many. I can't believe how good some of the cheeses are. Like you
yeah.
have to try to find the ones you like, but you can find good cheese, like regular, like the what
See,
I
and I don't
remember
seek that
cheese.
out because I wasn't a big cheese eater to begin with. I only like grilled cheese sandwiches and pizza.
Yeah.
That's how weird is that? I did not like just regular raw cheese to put on a sandwich or anything. No sub, cheesesteak. No, give me just straight up, lettuce, tomato, mayo, onions. That's it. I don't want no cheese. You know what I mean? But pizza, it was just something
I
about the
think
pizza.
that's where it gets to me, like what you said something about, like if you used to smoke, you understand what that feeling was you had, or what that connection, that emotional connection to certain foods that I had. But I would never have them. Like I'm removed from that due to it's bigger than me. And
Yeah.
now I know truly what, like, to me it doesn't even make sense that I would eat something from a cow's boob that was meant for the baby cow, with all these hormones in it that are creating cancer. And I got enough on my mind. I need to make sure that I'm healthy. What I'm putting in, it's a liquid secretion from a cow, like, you know what I
Now
mean?
that's what I
it's
see when I
it's
see
a
the oozing cheese off the pizza. I
thing.
see nothing but
It's coming from
mucus.
a cow's
I see an
boob. Nobody
Outback
knows.
commercial. I see dead flesh with the grill marks and everything that used to make my mouth water. Now I see dead flesh.
I still remember, and I can
Yeah,
still eat stuff with that taste. Like I made the tofu and put A1 sauce on it, and it tastes, you know what I mean? It tastes good. Like I still like the taste. I remember Gary Yourofsky saying I didn't stop eating because of the taste of it. I didn't
yeah,
stop eating meat. And like there's so many doctors that have good things on that. Like Dr. Neil Barnard has a meal plan. There's so many different things out there. And Dr. Greger, I know they all have different things that you can do to replace that food and to substitute. And there's like 100 million different beans, rice, vegetables out there, and you're only giving up 3 or 4 things. I was saying to somebody online today, if you think about it, for you it was pizza, chicken, beef, and pork. And we never ate pork really
yeah.
anyway.
We
And
weren't
you had
we don't eat
already
pork.
stopped
Yes.
eating red meat and that. So it's like I'm really happy that you're successful with that because
Yeah, the meat was easy. I was never a huge meat. I could go veg because I think my dad was a vegetarian. I truly believe he was. So it wasn't hard for me to let go of meat because I would go through long periods of time where I wasn't eating meat, not on purpose. I just wasn't eating it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I would go get a bean burrito quick from Taco Bell and not get the beef, you know?
that's some
Um,
mental programming there, realizing how your plate, like I was saying last week, I felt like I was eating all sides or I was going to have to eat all side items. But you find that a complete meal is the beans become the protein or the
Dude,
mushroom.
lentils are so chameleon like. They remind me so much of meat. Like I'm sitting there, I was eating that lentil stew earlier, and it tasted like beef stew, like a
Yeah.
really fine marinated beef stew. Like,
It's funny you
wow.
don't realize how you don't need meat until you do it, and until you understand like it's the seasoning. You don't
That's what
like
made me want to put the
if you
veggies in it.
saw a dead animal on the side of the road, you wouldn't go up and take a bite out of it. Even if you go to the store, even though they shoot it up with stuff to make it look like it's red, it's really just dead graying meat. And when you eat it, you don't just eat the meat though. You typically put some type of seasoning or you paint it up with barbecue and cook it. You don't just eat. It's the same way you can season other things that can taste like your meat. Like you can do a tacos with mushrooms or beans, or you can even get the ground gardein meat if you want. If you're still transitioning and you really want to just still have that taste every now and then,
That's what
like
lentils remind me of. When I
lentils.
don't make them
Yes.
juicy, they remind me of the crumbles. That's
Yeah.
just what they're like. They're just like crumbles.
Let them go. How do you do that? So you just let them like all the water absorb, and
Yep.
then you
Don't
put your
don't
taco
don't put as
seasoning
much
on them.
water in them. If you want it soupy and like a stew, put more water in them as they're cooking. Like fill the pot up more so that they're moist when they cook down, like really moist. If you want them more like the meat, like the crumbles, don't put as much water in there, and you'll have more bean. And
I think
because they're
you
soft,
should
it's
do
like
a
ground
whole
beef.
cook show or cookbook or whatever on lentils and call it chameleon beans, like with the meal sticking out. You can put all your
Chameleon.
10. How about we do this? We could do like top 5 lentil recipes next, like in the next couple of weeks when we
Yeah,
don't have a
that
show.
sounds
Because I
good.
think that's one of the
Well, I've
things
got three.
today that someone asked what I don't know what to cook, and I think that is the most probably common, other than not making the connection or not wanting to. But I think a lot of people want to do this, especially when they hear us ramble about it all the time. And but they're like, but then they go to their regular life and tomorrow and they have all that other stuff in the fridge and they don't know what to eat and what do we eat. And like I think if we can start doing that more, that's going to really help people. And if you want resources, you can just look at plant-based recipes. I mean, there's tons of them, but I think on here we could at least help people each week with a segment on what we ate or what you eat, because mine would be the same every week. They'd be like, okay, she's boring me with her salad, beans, and rice. But that's just how I am. I've always done that. Like even when I was eating bad, I would eat the same thing every night. It would just be not very good for
The
me.
same Chipotle bowl.
Yeah, or steak. I got on kicks where I ate that. So
I
I'm
remember we would sit in the car when we would do deliveries and we go to Chipotle and get like them to give us a little cup of steak or a little cup of chicken and just sit there and just chow down on it. You know what I mean? And now I think
you
back on
know
it, I'm
where
like,
you
oh
were
man.
or where you
Oh.
are now. We were there. But
Yeah, I'm grossed out thinking about it now. That's
I said
weird.
that's a good idea. What about the lentils or just the saying what we make? I think that was what she meant in relation to that. But you mentioned it last week that we're gonna, well, maybe next week we'll do a show, or the week after. If I think I might have a guest next week, or we do just maybe a Thursday show one week and just do the cooking. Like you can make the
Yeah.
lentils, I'll film it and give the commentary. Like it'll be fun, definitely. I wanted to say that I want to thank you for coming on here and sharing your sincere, honest, things that have gone on with you and why you have gotten into this. And
Right.
sometimes with things that are not good in life, it can lead you to other, what's the word I'm looking for? It can lead you to help others when you are able to overcome it. And that's what
Yeah.
you've done for me. And then I know you've helped so many people in your live streams and in your daily life. So I'm really thankful for you doing that. And
You're
Buddha
welcome,
said
Sam.
sharing your 5 dishes you like or cooking it. Yes, we definitely will do that. And anything else you want to say in the end here?
Nah, just what wish good health on with everybody. Buddha, Janetta, anybody who's listening, you my babe, you know what I mean? It's like, I just
Yeah.
want people to be well and realize that they can make themselves well. Sometimes it takes a little bit of outside help, but you can do it. You can make a change. And if you find that you can't, reach out. If you can't do it on your own, reach out, get some help. Don't just give up. You know what I mean? Because there are people who have been through it, that have made it through, that might have some words or something that they can suggest to you that'll help you make it through too.
Reach out to us. My
Reach out to
email is
us.
everywhere. Our
We're
page is
here.
out there. You can message us on Facebook. We're connected
TikTok,
to Facebook.
Instagram, DM us. We're all over the place.
Yes, if you need some
Facebook,
help.
we're all over the place.
And that's what we forget how important mental health is when we're talking about food. And really, it really starts with the mind. Even making a commitment to make a change, you have to be ready to do that. Like, your mind is what controls your body in so many ways. However, if you get your mind right and your body,
Yep.
everything will be working well. So when you
And drinking
become,
a ton of this, I'm always an advocate of that. Drinking a ton of water also helps to filter through.
yes,
You know what I mean?
I might be
It's
under
like
my
oil
water
for the
intake.
body. It
Get that
keeps the
one.
body running right.
Definitely. Keep your body oiled. Words of wisdom from JJ Video Reacts. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Takeover Tuesday on her
Yes, yes,
channel. Go
yes.
ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to tune in Thursday. I am super excited I feel like I'm another like celebrity I'm talking to here, like in the vegan world. I guess he's like a really speaker at a lot of different churches and events, and such a powerful, I can't wait to hear his journey. He's had health issues and overcame them, and then ended up becoming a minister of wellness with respect to his dad that was a preacher. And he just has quit being a police officer and dedicated his life to helping people and coaching people to health. So I think that's a really going to be a really cool guest. And don't forget to, what was I going to say? Oh, Fuda said, let's get vegan to 15,000. I love her goals. We will go from 89 to 15,000. I bet.
I love it. It's
Don't
possible.
forget to hit that
Hey,
like
it starts
button,
somewhere, right?
comment, and subscribe. Yeah, leaving a comment really helps too. I've heard in that little algorithm. And I'm
Likes,
telling you,
comments, shares.
I had to share because, like, she literally helps me every day to get my mind right. And she said I've helped her in the past, but since I went through these hormonal changes, I need it basically daily. I have something that comes up which never used to, and she's able to kind of talk me through it. So I figured I wanted to share that. And I watch her routine, and she's very regimented, almost like I am. With I have that raw salad every night. No matter how tired I am, I will go in there and I will chop that up and I will put it in my body. She does that with her workout and meditation and everything. And I just think that I'm really impressed by that consistency, and I've seen the differences. So
Oh,
thank you for being here.
thank you, babe. Thank you for being born. I always tell you that.
Janetta, thank you for coming. She said she really appreciates y'all. Well, I appreciate you,
We
and I know
appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and we definitely miss you. Hopefully, you get to not work so hard and come a little bit, come to some of these to join us. I know last week you popped in. I think it might have been this one, or was it Takeover Tuesday? And all of a sudden, the show was over when I saw you. I don't know why it didn't pop up, during the stream.
Did I miss you?
It was like, I think as we were on that part where we were ending it, where the music plays again or something.
Aw.
Well,
thank you for coming anyway.
Thank you for being here, and everyone listening to the replay. Buddha has been such a super fan. Like I said, like I'm really
amazing.
Thankful. She came from J&J's channel and swooped in over here and has been like our the first one on the stream each week. I really am thankful, and everybody else listening to the replay. Thank you, and that's all. Thanks. I was just thankful.
Thank you guys so much for being here, Buddha. Oh yeah, check this out. Like, shout out to American Dream Trading. Listen, Coach was
shout out to Coach and American Dream
Coach. Coach has got a crush on my wife, but anyway, Sheila. It's but and he's married, but he showed me today how to turn on the magnifier. So you guys know how I struggle with that on Takeover Tuesdays, trying to figure out what picture I need to put up. Well, the mouse now, when it scrolls over something, it magnifies it. So shout out to Coach for showing me how to set that up on the computer. I'm loving it. So
this is how we completely ignore that fact that you have any vision issues. Like, she sets up this stream with just the things that she does and stays positive are not even close to what we have to deal with. That's why you're an inspiration, because of that. Because you do it so effortlessly that I forget that you even have to enlarge things, or you do things a little bit of have to do it a different way, but you just take it all with such grace. And I've never heard you complain like, oh man, I got to do this. You just get on there and put it up closer and do it your way, and it comes out like videos.
Because like, what are you going to do? Crawl up and die, right?
Well,
it's
that's
like you got to focus on what
a
you
lot
got.
of people would, and I'm sure the mindfulness things have helped you with that. So
I look at it this way. I could be Stevie Wonder, and look what he's done. And he has, it's like this for him, but look what all he's accomplished. So I'm like, you are 10 steps ahead, because you can at least see. As blurry as things are, you at least see a computer screen there. He does not know what a computer screen looks like.
Yeah.
So there was a man who cried because he had no shoes until he met a man who had no feet, right? So that's how I think.
We should all stay grateful of where we are and what we have. And doesn't matter where we've been, we can always make that positive change and be better for ourselves and those around us and help others.
Thank you for acknowledging, baby. I love you.
I love you.
And we love you guys. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out.
Have a good evening.
And we will end with your awesome poem, as usual.
If we could become a plant-based nation, we could get off all our medication. Oh, I won't say it out loud.
Have a good night, y'all. See you.
If we can become a plant-based nation, we could get off all our medication. We want to keep doing things like we were, donating to organizations claiming to fight for a cure. But the cure is already in front of our eyes, and it's time for us to wake up and realize. We may not want to believe we have control. It's easier for most of us to metaphorically live in a hole. So many stories of how being plant-based has reversed disease. It's funny that we can't stop eating meat with ease. We want to continue to look for the answer, yet people have reversed even cancer. I think finally as a nation, it's time to give people the truthful information. Your hard-earned money is what you pay to take your medicine day after day. Sadly, there's a lot of money being made in people staying sick. This has to finally make something click. We have to have this revelation that a cure means not selling medication. There's so many myths and misconceptions, but it's eye-opening once you make the connections. That meat and dairy are causing insulin resistance, it's not sugar and carbs causing diabetes, for instance. Scientifically, our bodies are not set up like carnivores. We model those who eat plants. If you can heal, why not give it a chance? You follow your car's owner's manual for what gas it takes, yet for our bodies without care, we feed it steaks. That's like giving an unleaded car diesel to drink. Our bodies will reject it, don't you think? I'm not here to tell you what to do, but to be a voice, that when it comes to your health, you have the choice. With just a few adjustments to your diet, I can help if you just want to try it. I've found testimonials that people have reversed every ailment and disease by simply eliminating meat, eggs, milk, and cheese. There's a tasty substitute for all the things you already eat. You can get all your nutrients without eating meat. Save the animals, the environment, and yourself just by making a few different selections off the grocery store shelf. It's never too late. I've seen it work at all age ranges. It's my passion, and I can't wait to hear about your positive health changes. It's time for the world to wake up and heal, and you can start with your very next meal.